So there was a time when I used to explain everything to everyone. Why I reacted, why I felt hurt, why I said no, why I chose myself, even that. And I thought I explained clearly, people will understand, people will stay, people will respect me. But slowly, very slowly, I realized something that was raw but painful. The people who really care never needed long explanations, and the people who demanded explanations were never really trying to understand me. And that is why I stopped explaining. I stopped giving explanations to anyone. Why we feel the need to explain? So, most of us explain not because we want to, but because we are scared of being misunderstood, scared of being judged, scared of being seen as a rude, selfish, or a wrong person. So, what we do? We over explain, we justify everything, we prove ourselves, we clarify again and again. We give reasons even when we don't owe anyone anything. We explain our pain to people who caused it. We explain our boundaries to people who crossed them, explain the wrong people. And deep down, all we want is one thing, that is acceptance. So, what explaining too much taught me, number one, the more I explained, the more confused I became. Because no explanation was ever enough. They always wanted more. More logic, more proof, more patience from me, more everything from me. And I realized something very important. When someone doesn't want to understand you, no amount of explanation will ever be enough for them. And when someone truly cares, even your silence speaks. It speaks so loudly. Explaining started draining me emotionally, mentally, physically, and I lost myself somewhere. I was tired of defending my emotions as if feeling deeply was a crime. But the moment I realized I need to stop. So just one day I noticed I was explaining myself even when I was right. I was apologizing for having feelings. I was justifying my boundaries. I was shrinking myself to make others comfortable. That's what I was doing. And that's when it hit me. Why am I trying to be understood by people, by someone who have already decided not to understand me? You cannot make that happen, right? Why am I explaining my worth to people who benefit from me and they are doubting it? That day, I didn't become rude. I didn't become cold. I just became quiet, centered, clear, and more aware. So, here is what happened after I stopped explaining. The interesting part. So, when I stopped explaining, some people left, and that hurt. What hurts more was realizing that they were only staying for access and not for emotional connection. Some relationships changed, some conversations became uncomfortable, and relations ended. But something else happened too. I felt lighter, calmer, more in control, and I started loving myself. I started trusting myself, my instincts, my intuition, my decisions, and I started respecting myself. I stopped seeking validation and started choosing peace over anything and anyone. So, what explaining versus communicating taught me is, so stopping explanations doesn't mean you stop communicating. It basically means you stop proving, you stop convincing, you stop begging to be understood by someone you mean so much to. You still communicate with respect, but you don't argue with people. You don't listen. You speak once clearly, honestly, and that's for all the ones. And then you let people decide what they want to do with it, how they want to perceive you and your opinions. And that's why silence became my answer. Silence taught me something explanations never did, that the right people don't question your intentions, they ask how you are. That boundaries don't need permission, they need self respect. And that peace is more important than winning arguments or being liked by everyone. I didn't stop explaining because I gave up, I stopped because I grew up. I understood people. And if you are someone who is tired of explaining your pain, tired of explaining yourself, your choices, your healing, maybe it's not your job to explain anymore. Maybe this is your sign. Maybe it's your time to protect your own peace. Maybe it's time to finally respect yourself.